I know, right? I think people might be surprised. Yeah, let's just keep that minimized. Cool, just keep everything minimized. I don't think there's anything on my desktop people don't need to see. Cool. Cool, I'm gonna hide the video preview for a moment just so that it's not doing the whole infinity thing. At least on the stream, just so I can keep Twitch Studio open. Alrighty. Somewhere clan. Better keep this open, yeah.
Are we live?
Yeah, we are definitely live. Just wondering if, yeah, no, let's not do that. Yeah, we'll leave it be. Actually, while we're at it, no, not fantasy name generators, Facebook. I'm just gonna post a little notification on Facebook as well.
Oh, hello, other person.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Are you on the train again, or are you home?
I am actually home. I'm in the process of we're not running the game. I'm taking the opportunity, so I'm not on camera at the moment. I'm cleaning up my gaming space so I can actually set up my VR for the first time in like a month and a half. So I'm in the process of hoovering and getting it ready. Because I thought I would jump in and then I'll migrate when I'm in VR. I'll migrate my microphone to that so I can still listen in as we're doing stuff.
Alright, all in good time. Like I said, today is just about relaxing.
Always a good plan.
Let's do... And we'll just make that a little smaller too. That works out nicely. Save. Cool. Rebecca, I popped you as a little, your camera as well. It's a little separate box, but you turn that off at any time if you feel like, as in if you would rather do that. Cool. Who we got in show viewers list? Cool. We got a couple view, and then he's gone.
Is anyone from our WhatsApp chat coming on?
I don't think so. I think so. People couldn't make it because they were like busy, so I assume they won't have time.
That's fair.
Trying to tell some more people.
Friday the 6th of August. I'm unlikely to be on because that's the date that me, Red, Lily, and Chris are all heading off on holiday. So most likely I don't even know if we'll have Wi-Fi where we are. So I imagine that I will not be available. The following Friday is the day we're coming back, but I imagine we're going to be back in plenty of time, so that shouldn't be an issue. But Friday the 6th, I'm afraid, is no go for me. Not Friday the 6th. That Sunday.
Ah, damn it! For a second there, I was going to be like, well, that's great, because... So it is, in fact, Sunday the 8th.
Yeah, well, so
okay.
I don't know what the situation is going to be like
okay.
then. So please do carry on without me if need be. That is fine. But it is likely I will not be available.
Well, if all goes according to plan, we should hopefully have virtually everyone back for the 25th, and that's sort of the big boss fight, and, you know, that'd be great. And then after that, yeah, no, totally we'll play it. But, you know, as always, number one priority with these streams is fun. Groups. Cool. Posted it a few places. We'll just cross our fingers at this point. How's everybody been?
Yeah, not bad from my end. bit hectic, but I think that's to be expected.
Yeah, I get that. And today has been a scorcher.
Yeah, today can get directly in the bin with regards to the heat.
Oh no, I love it.
Oh god, no. No.
I'm sorry, is this some sort of English joke I'm too Mediterranean to understand?
Pretty much.
Cool. In the meantime, let's get to building some tokens. So, I'll probably say this a few times if we get more audience members, but the idea behind this is I want to show people how you can basically find stuff online to turn into D&D tokens for your digital tabletop, and to do so without having to pay a cent. So I specifically use a program I don't use anymore because this one is free. It is a good program, it's just good for a free program, but you should be able to do everything you need to in said program. So, and I'm not going to use any of the digital tokens or stuff like that I bought. I'm not going to modify any of those. I'm exclusively going to use stuff I can find on the internet. So, with that in mind, can I get a request for a token that we will attempt to build?
Do we need any? What about for the unicorn? For our cleric.
So when I say token, I mean more like a digital tabletop piece.
Mm-hmm.
There wouldn't be a token for the unicorn because it's an item. It's more creature specifically.
Oh, mimic.
All right. Let's see. Mimic token. A good place to start is so I generally will look at. So I'll just try to see mimic token. As like, is there something that will do the trick?
Number one.
Or let's make a token. Let's make a specifically like an unusual mimic token as opposed to a chest. Give me an item you don't typically see mimics as. Let's challenge ourselves.
An arrow.
Normally, oh what?
An arrow.
Oh come on! Like give me something that's like big enough for a game board.
All right. Why don't we go for
A trebuchet.
Well, that's pretty huge. But that could work, yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, so let me rephrase that. They should ideally be medium or larger.
We are terrible at this, aren't we?
That's okay. It's all good. This is why it's my job to pick up the slack. No, I'm kidding, you guys.
What? Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, we can totally do a trebuchet token. A trebuchet mimic.
Start with high aspirations. We'll go from there.
Alright, so, I wish there was a... Oh, actually, maybe... I'm trying to wonder if on Discord you guys can view my screen in real time as well. Yeah, so if I simultaneously hop onto, General, I will definitely mute myself, and deafen myself, so I'm currently out of the picture, but I will share my screen, for GIMP specifically.
I love GIMP.
Oh yeah, GIMP's great. Like I use it for a very long time. The only reason I stopped is because I got Pixelmator Pro for free. And that's like a multiple $100 program, so yeah, cool. So if you guys can either watch the stream if you don't mind the delay, or you can go into Discord where I am sharing my screen if you hop into the same chat. Just be sure to mute yourselves in Discord so there's no echo.
Most likely, I will set up it on stream because I'll be doing a few things. So I'll do on stream for numbers.
So, cool. So the first challenge is a trebuchet token. So obviously we want the brass tacks one first. A trebuchet mimic. So yeah. So we think, okay, let's get the meat and bones of it. Trebuchet. So things like that, they're more likely to be available inherently. So let's see, we just want to do a quick Google search for trebuchet D&D token. If we can find a good one that's not tied up with like a watermark or anything like that, we can generally work from there. Cool, so yeah, there's generally a fair bit of back and forth. Okay, so we can find this one. This one's going to be pretty low resolution because it's a watermarked preview. However, there is a delightful little catapult right here. Which is one option. Or alternatively, yeah, so there's... Won't lie to you guys, a fair amount of this is Googling. So we do a quick scroll through. And okay, that one's not bad. So it's interesting that alright. May have an idea. Alright, we got a delightful little catapult right here. What do we think about, copy image? Cool, what do we think about that catapult right there? I found this on a quick Google search. I'm gonna give sources, and to be clear, guys, whoever may be watching, any watchers, we got a couple peeps. Oh yeah, fair enough, you guys. And to be clear, under no circumstances should you do this if you're planning to, like, monetize your content in any way. This is exclusively for home use, because by no account would one necessarily have the authorization to use these images in a way that is profitable. Cool,
so does that mean that if you were to stream on Twitch, you couldn't use them?
It would vary. I would probably have to change so much of the... You know what, I'm just going to cover my bases and say, yeah, no, if you were to try and streaming with these tokens, you would run the risk of copyright infringement.
I don't know if it's worth mentioning, there are filters on Google or certain search engines where you can actually set the filter to make it so that it's all use available. It limits how many images pop up, but it circumvents that issue where you might run into using someone's image.
I did not know that. That is fantastic. Nevertheless, it's always worth making absolutely certain, if you do find the perfect image that you'd like to use, ascertaining whether or not that artifact is offered with a free license, just in case Google misses one of them. So this only really applies if you, as Remy mentioned, if you are streaming and at the stage where you are making, you've got to that point in your Twitch streaming journey that you are monetizing in some fashion, that you just need to be wary about that.
Yeah, this is home game. If you're just, an average Joe who just want to make cool boards for your players, or just have cool tokens that you can use in your home games, this is exactly the kind of content for you. So, another slightly less exciting portion that can happen often is removing the checkered background thing, whose name I forget. So we're just going to just about wrap up with the eraser. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and make that brush a bunch of times smaller. So just that out. Now, when I go over these, I like to do lots of clicks as opposed to... Oh, wait, I think you need to... Just a pro tip, if you're not actually doing anything with your cursor, double check that you don't have a tiny area of the screen selected with a selection tool somewhere, because it will exclusively only let you edit that selection. Alright, we're just gonna rub out the border and edge. And there we go. That's plenty. Now we're gonna grab our smart selection tool again. This is select by color. Let's go select by color. Ah, yeah, that can be the tricky part, but no, yeah, that's not. Let's go fuzzy select tool, and we're gonna also deselect. Yeah, we just want to get the edges of this. Actually, tell you what, just before we go ahead with that, what can help in these instances, GIMP specifically has a filter. So if you go into filters in this tab here that I'm highlighting, and you go to artistic, there is one specifically called cartoon. Cartoon, what it does is it makes all the black lines blacker and thicker, which can really help isolate sections in order to make your color selection tool more thorough. It'll make a big difference. Here is where it lets you adjust the radius, and if we pump that up a little bit, it'll do away slightly with the granularness there. That's going to be pretty good, and this will just make it super, super black, so we're just going to pump it up slightly. What can also help in that respect is playing with the contrast. If you increase the contrast, that can definitely... Now, I will add that this program is first and foremost built for Windows. Mac is kind of a little bit of afterthought, and I am using a Mac at the moment. So, for example, like the button on my keyboard that's meant to delete doesn't actually delete, like nothing happens. So, in the absence, I've just been Command Xing. So, Mac users may occasionally run into some difficulties when they don't update or optimize things. Now, as I said, normally I use a program called Pixelmator Pro, and if you do fancy, if you don't mind investing in some drawing software or happen to have some already, like Photoshop, then a lot of these tools are universal. Some of the effects won't be. GIMP specifically has the cartoon effect that I have yet to figure out how to replicate in Pixelmator Pro, so I've had to use some workarounds there. But it does have its own advantages, which can be pretty great in terms of a very intelligent selection tool, which can generally really isolate things I don't want and things I want. Alright, so I think that's plenty. We have got ourselves a catapult right here. The legwork is done for us. The second portion of this is going to be how to turn this into a mimic. Let me just quickly check chat. Another T viewer, down the TV viewer, welcome to the chat. Hope this is engaging. So we are turning a catapult into a mimic. So now, now that we've said and done this, we are going to ask ourselves what is the hallmarks of a mimic? Mimics, first and foremost, mimics always are a physical object that has teeth and sometimes eyes on it. So, case in point, I just googled mimic token specifically, and we got a whole bunch of pictures of exactly that. Now, obviously this is being an RPG token, there is a top-down view, so we may want to have a quick play with that sort of thing. We have to keep that in mind in terms of what asset we choose to use in order to convey that it is a mimic, because for example, if we just stick something on the front, it's like, why would the mouth be facing straight up? It's gonna want to be somewhere where it can bite people. So, with that in mind, let's have a think here. Now, see, this one's pretty good. Again, this one's kind of watermarked, so it's not really an option. So, in the absence of that, let's keep looking. This one's also not bad. This one's kind of small, though. This one here, this is a pretty good mimic. It's quite a relatively high resolution image as well. Now, let's see. Now, some people will offer free tokens online. For the purposes of the stream, I am considering those fair game. Now, there's this big old door token here, which has a lovely slobbering mouth on it. I wonder if there's something we can do with this. Should we try? Yeah, this one's quite nice. Let's give it a go. So this is on the actual D&D Beyond website, funnily enough. This must be this is a flat view, so I'm assuming this is meant to be a Paperforge token, as in you cut it out like a cardboard cutout and stick it on your board. So let's go ahead and grab this one. Just going to drag it onto... never mind, let's copy image and paste. Ah, good, this one's transparency layer is an actual transparency layer. Alright, just going to shift that around a bit. Oh wait, so with GIMP, always remember, when you paste something, it doesn't automatically create a new layer. So we're going to call this layer mouth, and we will call bottom layer catapult. Alright, now what we can do is this. So if you right click the unified transform tool, you can select scale specifically, and we're just gonna, oh, wrong one. Be sure to select the layer you actually want to edit. We're just gonna drop the scale of that right down so we can play with it a bit easier. And just move it into place. Cool, cool, cool. Now, we just want to see exactly where we want to place this. Alright, well, we certainly don't need the door portion of this, so this is where we get into a little bit of the nitty-gritty. We are going to zoom, for the love of... Yeah, again, so on PC, you just control and scroll the wheel. On this, I have to manually select the tool, but we just want to get right into the nitty-gritty, and yeah, unfortunately, complex tokens like these, you can't just isolate the sections you don't like as easily. So we are going to have to go in with the erasure tool and just very gently wipe out what we don't want. We're going to keep a couple of these eyes on the mimic, but by and large we are going to just rub away what we don't need, as in the part that tells you that this mimic is a door. Now you don't have to rub the whole thing away by hand, just enough of it to separate sections you don't need, because if the sections you don't need are completely detached from the stuff that you do need, you can just use a selection tool with indiscriminately just select all, even, you know, with the magic wand, and at that point you can, it'll just select what you don't want and presto pronto. So I'm just going to zoom out slightly just so I can see what I'm doing. Alright, so that appeared to be... You know what, we can leave that... So there's a section here that is meant to be a door handle. I think we can afford to leave that on there, because it could very easily be passed off as a simple latch from, or like some sort of bolted on section of the catapult in question. So, I'm gonna rub, dub, and yeah, so patience is definitely a virtue when one does this. If anybody watching has any thoughts or questions, I'm absolutely happy to answer or just chat away as we try to kill some time a little. What do you guys think so far? To my lovely co-hosts.
Anything mimic and I'm in.
Alright. I'm gonna say, yeah, let's isolate that to about there. This one's really easy to isolate because it's got quite nice thick black lines. Yeah, it's sort of that more Borderlands-y, I guess, for lack of a better term, cel-shaded art. Okay, we're just gonna select this whole thing and then delete it, because we don't need that anymore. Cool, remember, after each selection, just make sure you're not selecting anything. Make sure to deselect. Alright, just gotta rub away the sections we don't want. Now for this one, I'm thinking, yeah, let's round that off a little bit. We don't need that section. Some advantages as well, something to keep in mind, is that detail does get lost when you shrink something. So certain things are like, oh, that looks a bit weird. Double check if that's only looks weird because it's at that size, and it won't once you shrink it down. So we're going to, oh, that's a good point actually. I just noticed there's still some bits left. So we're gonna rub those away. Cool. So, I guess the question is, how do we want to arrange this mimic? We have a top-down view of the catapult. So let's bring the catapult first. Let's have a think. If anyone has any specific thoughts on the matter, I am all ears.
What do you mean?
As in where exactly we want to put this mimic's features. As in where we want to put the mouth.
Probably where the loading is. Where you would load it.
You reckon? I was also partially thinking maybe, you see that section at the top, that's the weights that are meant to create the lift, basically. That big old bag of rocks. Thinking maybe there.
Yep, that would work.
Cool, let's go for that then. We're gonna need a bigger canvas. Image, canvas size, so we're at 728 by 647. Honestly, just to cover my bases, I will go 1000 by 1000. Resize. Move that to the center. Oh wait, zoom out again. Now I just noticed something. Because it was a PNG, has had the slight effect of the catapult in question is a little weirdly transparent. For example, if I put on the mimic door, you can kind of see right through it. I've had this happen to me a couple times, so a way to get around that is first let's create a new layer. We'll just call this temporary. And we'll just add it. It should feel great. We put it under the layer of the thing you're trying to make less transparent, and then you just fill it all in with a color. So I've chosen black. Now black is going to make things a bit darker. Maybe that's what we want, but let's also test white. Yeah, no, we definitely want black. Or maybe, just out of academic curiosity, what happens if we pick something closer to the wood color? Like a brown. No, everything's tinted. Okay, fair enough. So if we go black, and then what we want to do is, oh, see, yeah, that's going to be the tricky part. Oh wait, no, it isn't. What am I saying? So if you go black, and then you, before you merge the layers, you go onto the layer that is going to be the final layer. The one where you are going to want to get rid of these sections now. These negative spaces are now filled with black, which is obviously not what we want. So you go there without selecting the two, and you start selecting said negative spaces. Don't forget to hold Shift in order to make this possible. Now, because, you know, to your eyes, you know, you think you've selected, all the, you know, it looks like it's all one thing, but because it's separate layers, as far as the GIMP is concerned, you're selecting negative space, and that's a really easy thing for the program to isolate and select. So you click on that, and you can't see it right now again because this program is acting weird. But if I then click a different layer, I should be able to just press delete. Oh wait, sorry, Command X, and see it deletes the sections I didn't want, keeping the selections I did want. At which point we can go ahead now and merge down. And just real quick, I'm gonna isolate. Oh, damn it. Oh, right, I've selected again. We're gonna use a eraser tool to isolate this section real quick. And scroll. Yeah, well, cool. Everything's isolated. And then we just use a color selection tool and get rid of it. And voila, we have filled in the sections that previously seemed to be, entirely filled in. Oh, sorry, we have filled in the sections that were previously transparent. Man, some days you just cannot words. It's like, what is life? Well, now this little section here is still the way that it is. So I'm just getting a really tiny brush with a decent amount of fluff and hollow that out. Cool. Gonna leave that there. Alright, let's zoom out a little bit and see what we're working with. Let me just go ahead and click on Twitch chat. Anything to write home about? Nah, I think we're good. Cool, so now that we have isolated that, let's make the mouth layer visible again. And let's drag that forward. I am thinking, yeah, rather than, yeah, we're going to flip, we're going to mirror the catapult to face the other way, because that way the mouth looks like it's facing downwards, i.e. sort of towards you, as opposed to, there's this weird effect, when something's facing upwards, it looks like it's facing away from you, and when it's facing downwards, it looks like it's facing towards you. So, with that in mind, we are going to, oh right, it's so transformation tool, flip, and you just click, yeah, vertical is correct, and boom, flip vertically. Now that that is done, we want to go ahead and move the mouth, and we'll just move it up one, and we're gonna stick it right here. Now here's where things get interesting. This one is, yeah, it's a little, again, we have to play with the angles a little bit, and we have to try and transform it. So with that in mind, let's try and grab the perspective tool and click. Now if I just do that, you want to make, yeah, sorry, you want to make these angles as wide as possible. Now, if I just transform that there, it should generally preserve as much of the quality as it can, and be attached to the front there. Although, having said that, yes, I don't think that's, yeah, it's not going to work too well, is it? So, instead, here's what we're going to do. I've had an idea. We're going to keep the mouth section of this one, but we're going to sort of chop it down and change the perspective on it. And then we're going to put eyes, I'm thinking, on the on these sort of metal wheel guard sections. So with that in mind, what we want to do again is grab our eraser tool and let's just pop these eyes off. Oop, need a smaller brush. We're just gonna rub out these eyes. We've got a little bit of fade because remember this is a mimic. It is meant to sort of look shapeshiftery, so we want to look like the mouth is sort of manifested out of the solid objects. So yeah, just nice lines. Something to keep in mind is it's generally a better idea to do lots of little clicks as opposed to big draws, because if you mess up, you can't, and you Command Z, you risk losing a lot. Now, one thing I want to try and see if we can do is isolate the. Yeah, no, that's not gonna fly. Okay, fair enough. So, need to do a bit more isolation. So let's zoom right in, grab our eraser tool again, get a bit smaller. Oh, oh. What am I? Let me just do. Yeah, I just wanna. Because I missed the spot earlier, so we just want to get it out. Now, here is where we can do something interesting. I'm going to grab the lasso tool, and I am going to trace as near as I can around the teeth here. Yeah, this is... I've definitely had a fair few rage quits doing this particular section, because sometimes you have to trace this really long, really intricate section to try and isolate the section you want, and you do one false step and all of a sudden you have to start all over again. Now, fortunately, with fortunately was not the word I was looking for. At this point you can generally, yeah, you can let go at this point and just do clicks and clicks here. We just want to join the other end of this. Cool. Now what we're going to do is Command C, copy, not cut, because the last thing we want is not to be able to return to this if we don't have it, and Command V to create a new layer with an exact duplicate. We're going to call this upper jaw. Remember to label your layers, folks. Cool, we've got a nice upper jaw here. I'm going to go ahead and make the mouth invisible for a second. Let's see. What about option? It's not option. Really annoying that I have to manually click the thing to zoom in and out, but oh well. Cool, we zoom out of there, we grab this isolated section of teeth, and let's see if we can't play with its size and direction a little bit. So if I can... Let's rotate it before we start playing with the perspective, I think. Yeah, let's do that. So we just go back to rotate, and we just adjust it slightly so we cool. Now I think is where we want to play with the perspective a little bit. So we go back to perspective tool. And let's make, there we go. Yeah, we'll make this a little flatter and transform it. Definitely lost a bit of resolution there. So let's see if we go to artistic and go cartoon. Oh, that's a bit too much. Yeah, not too good. Ah, never mind. Yeah, it's not too great. So let's try again. Filters. Artistic again. Let's try the new cut. Yeah, I think that's... Yeah, it's probably going to be for the best. Although having said that, I'm definitely umming and eyeing a lot. Yeah, a lot of this is going to be just trial and error, unfortunately, so you're going to have to... definitely have, again, like I said, some level of patience. So if we go back to, there's a tool here called enhance, sharpen. You can so sharpen's pretty great because it'll take out blur, and blur can really sometimes make something look not very high resolution. So if you use the sharpen tool, it will give it a slight sort of cel-shaded effect to it, which, if you're okay with that, can definitely save your bacon. Cool. I think I sharpened it like 5 times. File, edit, redo. No, edit, redo, and edit and redo. Cool, so there's our sharpened jaw. Now we just want to make it, we're going to make it the exact size of the pendulum weight so that it looks like, so I wanted this almost look like the bar is a long neck, almost like a giraffe kind of, and the head of this thing swings back and forth on this sort of counterweight. That could be, yeah, I think that's going to be pretty neat. So let's go ahead and scale that. If I do that, yeah, this should... So yeah, that little, if you don't click that little chain there, it will not constrain the proportions. So actually, let's see what that looks like. So if we just make this a bit chonkier. Yeah. Alright. Now we scale that and move that. Yeah, I think, yeah, let's move that about here. Alright. Now let's bring back the mouth. And let's do the exact same thing to the bottom section. So we're going to grab the lasso tool. First we're going to zoom in. And yeah, so we're just going to isolate this section. Now, something just occurred to me. This thing... Yeah, actually, no, never mind. So, in a pinch with certain straight lines, you can actually kind of just, you know, click 2 points and it will create a straight line to them. But generally avoid doing that if you're trying to trace something, because it will come across in the final pasted product. There'll be like this random straight line, and it won't look organic. It'll look like a copy-paste. So I'm just gonna trace this over here. Yeah, that seems to be the end of it. And let's go around this section. Cool, cool, cool. And bring that around. So again, Command C. Lower jaw, we'll call this layer. And for this one, let's go ahead and shift it over. Let's zoom a little bit out just so we can see what we're doing. It's definitely happened to me before where I've gone like, oh, that looks shit, but then I remember to zoom out. It's like, oh no, actually, at the perspective it's going to look at. Because remember, guys, on a game board, you know, it's probably going to be more about here's level of perspective. So it's important to keep that in mind before you beat yourself up too much about how perfect it looks. Cool. So yeah, let's pop that in place there. All right. Yeah, I think we're starting to see it. So let's grab the perspective tool again. I kind of want to just, so if we scale it like that. So sorry, this is scale, not perspective. If we flatten it a little bit. Cool, that's not bad, but let's see instead what happens if we use the perspective tool specifically. That's what we're going to try to make even instead. It's kind of the same thing, so you know what, I'm going to say save yourself the headache in this instance. We'll use the scale tool instead. Proportions are not constrained, so it's going to remain as wide as it is no matter how short we make it. Cool, so yeah, when you flatten stuff like that, it gives that sort of side or like overhead view perspective. And I keep forgetting I can't do that. So we're going to zoom in now. Alright, now there's definitely a little room for refinement, so with that in mind, let's grab the rotate tool for a section specifically. We're going to grab the upper jaw. I think we can afford to rotate it so it's just a little bit more in line with everything. And you know what, I don't really like this little end section too much, so let's grab the erasure brush and just round that out a little bit. Cool, pop that right there. And now let's grab the lower jaw, and let's make that just a little bit... You know what, let's rotate this one as well, I think, slightly. Yeah, around about... Yeah, there. Rotate. And we're gonna move that back into place. Alright. Now, last thing we need to do is grab the airship tool again, and I'm gonna say let's abandon these eyes entirely. We're just gonna... Oop, that's a bit too much. Well, yeah, this one can be kind of just cut off easy peasy. That one's kind of stuck there, so you know what? This is an interesting point. This is a good opportunity. So we're going to use the select by color, and this is definitely a tip for the day. Or actually, you know, instead of select color, we are going to first we're going to use the lasso tool. We're going to select everything in this area. Now, this specific tool that I'm about to show you is going to be one of your best friends when you use GIMP. You just go to Colors, and you go to Hue Chroma, and you can just use this wheel to slide the hue, slide the chroma as well. So this one I almost feel like it has a slightly blue/purplish tinge to it. So first let's make it nice and fatly saturated so we can see what we're doing. So if we drag it over to purple and then just really desaturate it, and then make it a bit darker. And we go, okay. So now if we zoom out now, that has gone from an eye, I believe, 2, hopefully. That still looks like an eye. Okay, so again, there's definitely going to be a bit of playing around. But, so if we go colors again, well, there used to be a tool called... it's gone, so yes, just hue saturation. Oh wait, no, cancel. Colors, hue chroma, so yeah, chroma is the one you want. So, again, yeah, there's just a fair amount of, again, sorry, it's just a case of using these sliders, trying to figure out... What I'm trying to do is match the color as best I can. Because what that will allow me to do is just, you know, make it look like part of the background. There we go, there we go. Yeah, alright. See, that's gone from a really obvious eye to, you know, maybe it's a boil or a growth or something like that. And if you really want to, there should be a blur tool here. You just want to get a blur tool. And you just zoom right in, and you just blur that out a little bit. Let's see how that ends up working out for us. Oh, look at that. We're using foundation on the mimic. And we zoom out again. Yeah, it's just part of the scenery at this point. It's a pimple on his chin. We can revisit it if we desperately want, but I think that's a pretty good job. Cool. Now, there is a bit of overhang to this thing's mouth. I'm wondering, do we want that, or do we want to play a little bit in that respect? Let's try the handle transform tool for a second. I kind of want to... Actually, no, let's not use that. I don't know how to use that effectively. So if we just scale it again. Again, perspective is not... Oh, wait, I am totally looking at the wrong thing. So we're just gonna deselect all of that. Yeah, okay. The whole selection thing is like I can't... Oh. Sorry everyone who's watching the stream, I'm not sure what happened though. Don't know what happened. Rejoining. Hello? Oh, I guess no one's here yet. Alright. Let's hide video preview there. Again, just so there's not an, you know, Jaws of Infinity situation. Who else we got viewing? Commander Root, welcome again. Please, by all means, if anyone has any questions about anything that I'm doing, don't hesitate to ask. This is very much meant to be a tutorial. Yeah, I pressed the wrong button, so we're gonna do that. Let's adjust the scale again. Yeah, just make it a little bit wider, I think. And we want to move that into... Let's make it still a little wider. Scale. Cool, and we'll just go back to filters and enhance, sharpen. Cool, cool. Let me just message peeps. Cool, we're just gonna, yeah, it's just messaging people, seeing what happened. But, yeah, we'll just carry on in the meantime. Oh, man, this seat can sometimes be a big old pain in the butt. And with that in mind, let me just double check something. Yeah, let's not worry about that. Cool, we got that section there. Alright, so we've got our jaws figured out. Next, let's, so we're gonna pop the mouth open again, and let's see if we can reuse that big old fat tongue, because that's a really nice big old fat tongue, and it'd be a shame if we didn't get to see it. That was weird. You guys know what I mean. Cool, so again, just lasso selection tool. This one, yeah, you're definitely gonna want to be precise with this one. I'm just thinking. Actually, I have a better idea. So let's, deselect it. We're gonna just select the entirety of the inside of the mouth. Because then we can pick and choose as much as we want and we're not constrained. Let's say that, so yeah, we'll go rough. I'm not gonna beat myself up too much if I lose out on some of this gum, because the important thing is we get that tongue. Okay, I won't lie to you guys. This is a million times easier in a program like Photoshop, so if you have it, or you can get it, or, you know, you don't mind getting it, I would encourage that. But for the purpose of this, we're going to do this completely al fresco. Alright, now we Command C, Command V again, and we're just going to label this layer gums. Guys, I cannot stress that enough. Label your layers. What? No, that's not what I... Oh dear lord. Okay. Not sure what happened though. Press sec. Oh wait, I'm an idiot. Okay, let's try this again. I'll definitely say I didn't used to have half these problems on the PC version. Which is kind of annoying, because, like, yeah, sure, like, I get that you may have a preference, but, you know, it's 2021. I feel like if you're not accommodating both platforms, you know, what do you do? Why is it... Why is it still... Okay, never mind. Here's what we're going to do, actually. We're going to just duplicate the layer. We're going to just hide mouth again. And we're going to do this sort of the inverse way. So we are going to just start... let's get a nice big ol' hard brush. And just start rubbing away. And just rub one out real quick. Yeah, just erasing away stuff we do not need. Ah. Oh, Nelly. And that, kids, is why you do multiple clicks instead of one long one. My God, this is poorly optimized. I change the stream lo-fi in a second, but yeah, let me know if you have a preference. Now let's just select. Fuzzy select. Cool. Gotten rid of that. Now let's go back to yeah, let's just deselect everything. Grab this section. Did we miss anything? No, we're good. Alright. Come on, let's zoom out a bit. I am genuinely surprised this is lagging so much. You know, this is barely 1,000 pixels and I got like just a few layers. I think, again, it goes to show that this is not the most optimized program. It breaks my heart to say it, but it's true. So, with that in mind, let's try to see, like, how do we want to do this? How do I want to do this? So let's rotate. Yeah! There we go. So if we rotate it like that, move it here. See, that is actually going to work doubly nicely. And I'll show you guys why in a second, because that tongue is going to conceal the section of this that we tried to sort of turn into a pimple earlier. Oh man, my peeps have abandoned me. Alright. Let's make sure this is all looking okay still. Show video preview. Yeah, you know what? Let's just make that hidden. Oh, wrong one. Cool. So that is correct. Again, let's just hide video preview. Yeah. So we've got that section right there. What we are going to do now is zoom in a little bit, first of all, just so we can see what we're doing. And isolate this tongue. Sorry, not this tongue, these gums. As we can then Command X that, Command V that, gums 1, and we can move that to fill out a section that looks wrong here. There you go. So if you, yeah, we pop that right about there, no one's going to be able to tell the difference. And I'll tell you what we'll do actually. So we'll go Colors, Hue Chroma. If we play with that a little bit in the pink section and maybe, no, not that. Light. I'm gonna make that a little bit lighter, and just reduce the chroma ever so slightly, so it's more. I think I'm in the wrong hue still. Cool. Yeah. So we've matched the. So that section was more red, and now we've matched it to be more like the pinkish section. As of before. I was in the pinkish section that's part of sort of that main tongue section. So now it'll look more seamless, particularly, and let's double check this, but from a little further out. Yeah, you'd have to, like, someone would have to, like, go out of their way to notice that discrepancy. And to that effect, that's a lesson I really definitely had to learn when I sort of started teaching myself how to do this stuff. Perfect is the enemy of good. Are we making a Picasso here? No. Are we making something that's going to let us have some fun? Absolutely. Now, what we want to see is so if I shift... Now see, that's too many teeth, so... Yeah, we'll just move that back to where it was. Now, let's take the... Yeah, I think I'm in the... Yeah, cool, so we'll get rid of that. Now let's take... this was... I have lost my place. Oh, mouth copy. Mouth copy was actually rename that to tongue to avoid confusion. Gonna rub that section of teeth away. Gonna just level that out a bit. Now I wonder. Actually, let's add a bit of fuzz on the eraser tool just so it looks a bit more natural. If we just isolate this section a bit. There we go. Ah, alright. Now for this next part, what we're probably going to want to do is, yeah, let's now bring the tongue layer all the way to the front for a moment so we can see what we're doing. And let's get the lasso tool and let's select, oh, I don't know, that much. Looks like I may have to do this from scratch. Cool. So let's start from here just to cover our bases. Alright. Yeah, let's grab that much just so we have stuff to work with. So we'll command copy that, command C, and paste. And we'll call this one tongue overlay. Now what we do with that is, so we take the tongue one and we go ahead and move it all the way back down to where it was. But we take tongue overlay, and I think we have to do this again because we didn't grab it enough, unfortunately, which is pretty funny. Yeah, so never mind. So we're just gonna command that. Now let's grab the selection tool again. And actually, I'm overthinking this. So we just duplicate the tongue layer, and we'll call this again tongue overlay. We're gonna drag the tongue back to under the mouth, so in its place. Now we grab tongue overlay. We grab the erase tool, and we just start Oh, that is the paintbrush tool. Grab the erase tool, and we just start rubbing. That's not right. What is going on? I'm confused. So that's the upper jaw. That's the... Yeah, lower, that's all the way down here. So tongue, yeah, that's tongue. And tongue overlay is... Let's just make sure we've got nothing selected. So... Ah, there, okay, yeah. For the upteenth time, that was the problem. But yes, the point is we start revealing these teeth again. I think I figured out where I got a little confused. Yes! There we go. Oh, I did way too much. Right, okay, yeah, no, I definitely got a little confused. It's gonna be a little off kilter, it looks like. So, let's see, will this work how we think it will? So if I go now to tongue again and erase that section, too much. Oh, no, not too much, what am I saying? If I erase that section as well, and tongue overlay and just nab the final portion of it, okay. And the reason for that becomes obviously clear. So now we have the tongue coming out of the mouth, but then snaking over once and looking that way. What we do need now, though, is if we make mouth visible again. Let's grab... So yeah, it's quite pinkish, so let's grab the appropriate section. So if we grab something like, oh, I don't know, this. Command C, Command V, gum patch. Let's just call it gum patch. And just to avoid accidentally right, that's not a thing, I always forget. Cool. Now if we just drag that all the way over here, and if we see if with the erase tool we can't make it all... There we go! Again, someone would be... like, let's just zoom out real quick and just to prove my point. Yeah, someone would be a lunatic to look that close. Oop, oop. Oop, that's where that was. My bad. Yeah, there we go. Oh. What's the matter there? Definitely a little bit of confusion. GIMP is more trouble than I remember it being. Oh, I zoomed in way too much. Dear Lord. Right, okay. So if we go to tongue, nope. Nope, that's not what that is. Gum patch. Aha! Therein lies the problem I previously had. Alright, yeah, let's not get too carried away. Let's oof, too much. Alright, just for this last section, because we want to get the nice black outline of those teeth. So you know what, actually, let's just pop it in ourselves. I'm just using a 1 pixel thick brush, and just to fill out those last couple teeth. Zoom out. Make that a little bigger, just rub out stuff we don't need. There you go, there you go. Now the trouble is, with doubling up the layers like this, is that you run into some problems, so I'm wondering if it isn't going to be easier to just merge everything together. Alright, let's try it and see if we can get away with it. So we just want to shift. You know what? Never mind. Let's just merge down. Merge down. Merge down. Wait, what's the problem there? Oh, that's what that was. Okay. We don't need that anymore. Let's delete that layer. Merge down. Merge down. Merge down. Cool, so we're gonna rename that to mouth asset. And we're just keeping this entire thing aside just in case we need to rip stuff from it again. We're gonna rename tongue to just regular old mouth, just for differentiation, and we're just gonna make that disappear again. And now we take the eraser tool and we just, again, let's zoom in a little bit. Let's just make that brush a little smaller too. Zoom in a couple times. Ah. Let's grab the eraser tool and let's just round out and smooth out that outline. Yeah, if you've got a jagged outline, that's sort of, you know, there's certain things that you can't just ignore or, you know, say good enough on, and one of them is outlines. Wasn't just lines in general. If something looks chopped or badly like cut, people will notice. It has to be a seamless blend, unfortunately. But this is a good exercise in that sort of thing. Apologies if... Okay, yeah, no, we're good. Alright. We now have ourselves a mouth. And I accidentally erased a section, so we're just going to leave it right here. Let's zoom out a bit again. Cool, so we've got our mouth. Now, we want it to sort of feel like it's coming out of the, it's sort of like, you know, it's like it's grown out of that counterweight. So, what we're gonna do in that respect is, do we want to grab some more of that again? Well, yeah, let's see if we can get away with it. If we go mouth, oh no, sorry, mouth asset. Let's duplicate mouth asset, make the original one go away. Grab this and just put it under mouth. Can we just... Let's grab the transformation tool while we're at it. Scale. Let's just make it a scale enlargement first of all. Scale. Can we make it seem like it's just coming straight out? So if we, I'm just trying to align that area there, because that can make a potentially a natural outline, which could be quite nice. You know what? Let's try it. Let's grab our eraser again. Round this off to just there. Everything else we don't actually need. We just need this bit here. And I'll explain why in a second. Although, having said that, we may need to revise the strategy slightly, because we want this actually to be a tiny bit lower. Yeah, we're going to want it to be that. So, actually, let's grab the brush again. Let's... Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. Let's fill that in again, just so we've got our bases covered. Again, maybe I could have spent more time trying to find a better catapult or something like that, but I think for what we're trying to do today, this is fine. So, what we're gonna do, as I stated, is let's actually get rid of mouth asset copy, delete layer, reduplicate mouth asset, and make that visible. Grab it. Let's resize it a little bit again, just a tad. Yeah, let's just start with that, see what happens. Because if we drag that all the way down, what we want to happen is for it to feel like a natural extension. May have to actually... Okay, a thought occurs. If we actually are able to flip vertically, and grab it again and move it to about... So let's just see if we can't just erase this. I'm going to do some nice streaks so it sort of looks like growth, for lack of a better term. And then we may go in back later and do more of it, but we're just going to do these streaking effects to make it look jagged. And again, I will explain why momentarily. Basically, yeah, so just to speed things up, let's grab a bigger brush too. We probably won't need any of that stuff. We definitely don't need the tongue. So, with that in mind, let's... Yeah. So if this... Yeah, it's a... Let's switch back to scale tool. So if we make this... Ah, wrong one. If we go back to mouth asset copy, make that wider. Scale that. Grab that, move that back into position. What I'm trying to do is see if I can make like the fleshy sections that have been drawn out of that mouth look like they're coming straight off of the like there's in there protruding from the thing. Sorry, the counterweight. Is this large enough? Let's see if we can we make it. Let's see if we make it a little wider without. It is annoying that you are limited to. Okay, okay. So if we go from about here. We grab this brush tool again, and now this time let's grab something like this sort of streaky tool. We want there to be some amount of fade. We want it to look like one of them ends and the other one begins. But just a Jesus, that's large. But just a tad. So yeah, we're gonna make that encroach a little more. Get rid of that because we don't need it. Let's go back to the regular tool for a moment. There you go. I want to get rid of the stuff that we don't need. So, hereabouts, one can hope. we should hopefully begin to see the effects of what I'm talking about. Just gonna, yeah, so we're gonna round that edge off slightly. Let's get rid of all of this, all of that. We're gonna go anything beyond. Let's just go for the hard line on this one, just to avoid. Ah, damn it. Anything beyond that we're going to get rid of, because we don't need it. We're going to keep this last patch subsection here, just in case we need that, but now we can go in with this tool, make it really nice and real small. Zoom in, of course, and yeah. What we want to do at this point is, although actually let's, yeah, no, that's actually, yeah, that's about exactly where it ends, to be honest. So let's move the mouth first. So fun fact, actually, what we can do is, theoretically, so let me just double check that this works this way. So if I do that, no, it doesn't work like that anymore. Annoying, but fine. So we're just gonna see, yeah, we overshot it. Ah, yeah, see, we've reached the limit again. Alright. Very well. I think that should be enough. So now if we move this back into place... God damn it. Yeah, see, now it looks like it's just protruding. We just top that off with... So this is... Yeah, so math has a copy. We just top that out with filters, enhance, with a good old-fashioned sharpen. And as part of that, let's go ahead and, so here's something else we're probably going to need to do. So first things first, let's grab the selection tool. And we'll grab let that color select that brown. Now let's also, let's see what happens with this one, with this particular paintbrush tool. That's sort of like a tiny spray can thing. We want to, yeah, so at the moment we're kind of lacking that layer section. Yeah, what we want to do is just draw that under here. Yeah. See, this looks, yeah, this could be passed off as like misshapen or kind of like just growthy. Cool, I like that very much. So, again, it's just creating that lip so that it has something to grow out of as opposed to looking like it was coming out of thin air. Well, let's try, nope, wrong one. Yeah. Let's just get rid of that. Cool. Gonna round this off just a little more. And just sharpen that up, clean that up slightly. Here too. Get rid of that. And we don't actually need this gum, I don't think. So we'll, Command X, we'll get rid of that. Cool. And we'll drop that off. Now let's zoom out again. All right. So while we're waiting, let's see if we can't do a little better. Ah, wrong button, wrong tool, sorry. In terms of selecting away those sections that we Yeah, just getting rid of sections we don't particularly care for. I do have a question though, so if I, just out of curiosity, if I, new layer, okay, if I fill that in with, what the fuck happened? New layer, white, okay, if we just splish splash a whole bunch of white, alright, no, so splish splash a whole bunch of white. Okay, well, I don't know why that, maybe is a selection thing? Yep, it's always a selection thing. Now, white is, you know, big and bright and hard to miss, so I'm hoping, now theoretically, let's... Ah, god damn it. So if I theoretically do this now... Nope, never mind. Okay, let's just get rid of these sections. We will merge down. Now if I select this... Okay, I think I did get a little bit closer. So as in, because there was that little edge of transparency which was really annoying, and I got rid of some of the bulk of it. So now what we can do... Ah wait, let's make sure we've not selected again. Yeah, we're just gonna go through and clean this up a little bit. I will be periodically checking the comment section in case anyone does end up chancing upon this. Yeah, some of these, there's definitely, yeah. In hindsight, I might have found a different siege engine to use. As this one has some shortcomings. But, for the purposes of demonstration, I think this is sufficient. And again, this can be potentially a good lesson in learning to let go. Because if you stay here until every single detail is ironed out, unless you are very skilled at Photoshop, this will take an eternity. So yeah, I'm just going to clean them up a teeny bit. And again, so one could spend way more time doing this, absolutely. I'm not going to do that today just for the purposes of entertainment, but that is absolutely a viable plan. As in, you know, don't have to do what I did here today if you get across this issue. If you want to take the time to erase out all the bits you don't like, absolutely. And I've certainly done that a bunch of times before. I don't think I'm going to do it right now just because it's not very interesting to watch. Did miss a few spots though with this, so let's clean up that tongue. Let's grab a... Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Alrighty, we have our mimic mouth. That kind of, yeah, it blends quite... actually, one last bit. Sorry, just for my OCD. Make that nice and small, and just... Alright, that's what that was. Okay, this is actually a perfect example. So in this section, what we're going to use instead is that the one... The clone tool. Clone. Same brush. We are going to command select this section and just tip tap. Tip tap. Then what we do with that is the smudge tool, just blend, and we're blending, and we're blending. And we just smudge it all into one great big merger. Alright. So now command Let's zoom back out. We have a big old mouth on the front. Next up, as I was telling you about earlier, let's take a crack at how we're going to do the eyes. Although, yeah, no, let's not get carried away. Or, see, now just because I see it from this angle, never mind. So, that's that. Right. So if we go back to the mouth layer, mouth layer, zoom right in. Wrong way. Boom. Let's just, I think let's just clean this up a little bit further. Yep, just clean that up. What you could maybe do is, well, actually, I'll show you that. So if there's a section that's too much of the outline to get rid of, what you can do is just select it. Then if you go back to colors, hue chroma, you can actually just, damn, what? So this was supposed to work in conjunction with the selection. Let's go with that, yeah, and if you go to colors, hue chroma, and you just drop the lightness, boom, you've made outline. What I'm tempted to do as well, I'm gonna see, gonna make a nice little, yes, drop that down, no, not one, 3. See, if I give this a wrong layer, I think. No, yeah, it was the right layer. So if I give this a stupid selection, so if I go to, yeah, if I give this a little outline, just a little one, how does that end up looking? Because yeah, outlines are relatively easy to just add in if you desperately feel like you need one. I'm wondering if we maybe do, because a lot of this is already a cel-shaded effect. So let's just see how that looks. Zoom out, zooms out. Yeah, I think the outline was needed. Although we could stand to smudge it a little bit, so let's do that. Again, wrong button. Cool, so we're going to blur it just a tad. Just so that it looks a bit more natural and a little less hardline. Let's zoom out again. I think that's okay. I think that's fine. Again, it is up to you how much time you sink into attempting something like this. But for our purposes today, I think this is more than fine. Let's put it back front and center. Cool. We've got the catapult section. We've got the mouth. Next, let's put some eyes. I'm going to put an eye here and here. So, we're just going to look for eye. Let's try monster eye clip art. Let's try monster eye PNG. Yeah, there's definitely a skill involved in researching the right. Ooh. That's not bad. It's a bit much. It's nice, but it's a bit much. Maybe if we go back to this mimic section and we find some nice eyes on one of these mimics that pre-exist. See, that's not bad. But that's the way that it is. Let's go back to just D&D mimic token. That's also marketplace related, so that's not the... Oh, let's just try monster eye. Let's see what happens. Yeah, some of these are a little bit much. But yeah, well, yeah, I want something that's more of a slit. If anyone spots any they particularly like, please do let me... Oh! Well, now that is interesting. That's kind of reptilian, but maybe it can work. Should we try it? Cool, I'm obligated to say, this is Supernova on DeviantArt. Please, like, if anyone can find a way to support these people, like, please do. Oh, alligator eye. Maybe that's okay. Let's look at, so, the Mimic. I want to just compare them for a second. So yeah, they do kind of have these golden eyes. So yeah, they're golden eyes with a big ol' slit down the center. So we're going to try and... Hey, how do they... Yeah, they do kind of look wood-like. Let's try this one. Let's see how this one comes out. If I just click in... well, copy image and paste, it is going to do that. So let's just see, like, just out of curiosity, if I... Is this any kind of... Okay, well this one, yeah, fine. This one looks like by itself, so... it's not letting me clip though, so if I drag it down here and then drag it onto here... There we go! Yeah, so sometimes you gotta just drag it onto your desktop. GIMP's weird like that. Okay, so... We've got this eye. We, obviously we wanna just straight downsize it a tad. Oh, reset. Down size, and then we move that too big. I think it might be still, yeah. Scale again. Yeah. All right. Now, in some of the images I saw, chiefly like, yeah, in this one, it looks like it's coming out of the wood. Yeah, some of these definitely look like just... Yeah, the eyes in particular just look like shape in wood. So, in this case, let's try to... so we'll go colors, hue, color... No, not color temperature. Colors, color balance. Because... actually no, colors, which one is it? Hue saturation? Yeah, hue saturation. So we go hue saturation, that particular tool, sorry, lets us select certain specific color ranges to exclusively edit. So if we go to select the green section, it should, yes it does. Now, what we want to do is make it look like the metal behind it. So we just drop out the saturation entirely. Let's drop the lightness a bit too while we're at it. Why do we keep just a little bit and... Yeah, it does feel like it's got that slight blue tint. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. I quite like that. Nice and simple. Now if we go to the yellow section, yeah. Alrighty. Saturation... No, this is a bit much. Okay, actually, that's quite... What do they look like? So they're like a golden color. Let's try go for that. So if we go bump up the light. See, yeah, that's the annoying part. So, you know what? Oh, damn it. Colors, hue, saturation, yes. I'm gonna just go back to that, so let's turn that to blue. Yeah, it was blue. Drop the lightness, and... There we go. There we go, that's perfect. Okay. And if we go to... Yep. Cool, we just say that's okay. Yep. And for this one now, we're gonna... This one should hopefully be relatively straight... damn it, again, wrong way. Should hopefully be relatively straightforward to isolate with the color selection tool. Actually, let's go specifically by select by color. Damn it. Yeah, that section right in the center that I can't stand. If we go colors, hue, chroma, and we just... That's a tad annoying. There is a color replacement thing, but I can't for the life of me remember what it's called. Let's just select by color. Ah, damn it. Colors. There was a hue chroma. Okay, because that one's got no saturation to it, it doesn't actually change. That's really good to know. Although it does alter that. That's annoying. Okay, let's... Do you know what I didn't do, which I might have to do actually? Let's bump it all the way out again. Command... zoom out. 1 second, let me just check chat as well. Nothing. Okay, fair enough. Colors. Oh no, sorry, filters. Enhance. Sharpen. There we go, much better. So if we go... See, that's... Okay, that's a bit too much. So if we go radius... Nah, yes, keep that there. See, that's much sharper, which is what we want, because it's going to let us isolate the colors a lot easier. Now, if I... Bollocks. Alright, let's do... Yeah, this is where we get into tricky territory. Okay, never mind. Just deselect it, go to the transformation tool section, drop it right down again. See, now it's a bit sharper, which means there's less colors for the AI to have to try and F around with in terms of, what's the word? Selection. We just pop that right there. Now let's try this again. If we select the tools, colors, hue, chroma. Oh wait, we don't need to do it for this one. What am I saying? Deselect, colors, hue saturation, select green specifically, and turn the hue to blue, like a cobalt blue. Drop the lightness, drop the saturation. And boom, almost seamless. And now with that in mind, hopefully it will be slightly simpler to go ahead and just select these sections. Nope. Although that's pretty good. Maybe a gift horse / mouth moment in terms of... Okay. See, with other programs I would have normally you should be able to see the outline, which simplifies things because I can actually see what I'm selecting. In this case, however, if we go hue chroma, change the hue. Okay, this is good. This is good. If we drop the light, let's just leave that where it is. Change that to golden. We change that to that and command zoom out. Sorry. Damn it. I'm wondering if we need a different eye. You know what? That's actually a pretty good eye. Let's have a look. This is Fireball RPG Anakashiva on ArtStation. We copy that image. Let's get rid of the. Well, let's just make it invisible for the moment. Deselect whatever we're deselecting, and if we just. Okay, I have no idea. Oh, we had copy pasted, so let's just never mind that. So if we just drag this down and we drag this on again, there we go. There you go. There you go. We just want to pop that down. Scale. Yeah. Cool. Right, we're going to call this eye asset. And we're going to do the same thing with mouth as we did with mouth asset. So we're going to, first of all, going to use the, yeah, I think circle is going to be enough for this one. So we're just going to Command C, Command V, I left, yeah, and this is my left. Drop that. Let's grab the rotate tool just because it was at a bit of an angle. You know what, actually, we're going to name this eye right, because this one's got a slightly rightward face to it, I think. So we're going to actually move that over here. Center it about there. Command, not command, just zoom in. Now, let's see. So if we go filters, artistic, cartoon. So if we, it's too much. So I think that might be about okay. So if we go there, I could probably just probably need a bigger brush, but oh, too much. Let's call it 13. Yeah, 13's perfect. We'll just round off and clean up that edge. Cool, let's so we're going to get rid of some of these seams where you can obviously see the obvious color change. And what one can hopefully do at this point is, first of all, we are going to use the selection tool, the lasso, sorry, and try to isolate the eye. Command C, Command V, and we'll just call that Peeper. Now if we put Peeper there, because that is going to create a separate layer of that color, because we want to keep the color of the sclera, but we want to change the color of the wood stuff around. So if we go there, so we go colors, hue saturation for the other one. Just you just drop the saturation right out, or most of it anyway. If we go to the loose, like a where's blue? There we go. Drop the lightness, drop the saturation again. Perfect. Yeah, perfect. And you know what, actually, let's just get the eraser tool and rub away those last few sections. Yeah, I don't think we want these. There we go. So now we've got an eye jutting out. Very nice. And what we can actually do at this point is if we go back to Peeper, we can casually erase the because you can see it doesn't look quite right because it looks like it's about to blend into a golden section when there is none. So we can actually erase sections because it's two identical looking layers, one on top of the other. We can erase sections we don't want and make them merge more seamlessly. So if we just casually rub out this section, it'll reveal the more tinted section underneath and make everything line and slash add up. Okay, now let's go ahead and let's zoom out first so we can see how it looks. Yeah, I quite like that. What do you guys think? Well, let's do what. Let's make it a little bit more. I'm kind of weirded out. So I hang up again. Let's start the call again, because that's... We just messaged people, because we had people going for a little bit. Yeah, let's leave that for the moment. So let's zoom in again. Sorry. And let's go with the erase tool again. Ah, damn it, wrong one. I right. Zoom out again. Yeah. I think that's quite good. What do you guys think? Let me know down below let me know, sorry, in comments if you think anything should change. But I feel comfortable merging down. We're gonna duplicate layer and change eye right to eye left. And then we're gonna hit flip, and this time flip horizontally. Boom. Grab the moving tool. And we're going to try line it up as best as we can. I think that's going to have to do. Yeah. Wondering if we should make the eyes a little smaller. Nah, let's keep it like that, I think. Nice big old peepers so we can see. Well, let's just see how it looks. Scale. Oh, wrong button. Scale. I think so, actually. They are a little too. So let's delete that for a second. We'll scale that down a bit. Yeah, it's a little more subtle. It's not as, you know, I don't know, something looked weird about the other one. So we're going to duplicate layer again. Eye left. And then we flip and grab and shift. and we want it to line up, so just trying to look at frame of references. It's really just an eyeball thing, it's not an exact science, unfortunately. I think that's about right. I think that's as close as we need to be. Okay. Was there anything else? There might not be. That could be it. We could have our catapult mimic token. Again, just gonna do a little bit of cleanup. I think that's alright. What do you guys think? What am I saying? I'm talking to myself. Oh, thank you, Morse. Sorry, I have no idea when you posted that, Morse. Awesome. I think that's it. There we have it. A, catapult mimic. Question is, do we try to see if we can do anything about cleaning up those other sections? No, I think it's better quit while we're ahead. I may post this publicly. So if you want to grab this token, I'm gonna make it freely available. If you head on over to my Instagram account, electrum_cosplay, you can. I will post a thing. I'll link to this asset and. You know what we could actually do, actually? Should we make a stat block for this? Go on, yeah, let's make a stat block for this. First things first, though, let's delete eye-asset, because we don't need it anymore. We don't need that other eye anymore either, so let's delete that. Cool. File. Come on, S. Okay, cool, that still works. We'll just save it to documents for the moment. What's it called? Catapult Mimic. Catapult Mimic. Save. Cool. We have that on hand. Yeah, probably don't need that anymore. And for anyone potentially concerned, not to worry, I will definitely be posting credit to all the artists I have used. Or whose work I've, yeah. Trying to think, yeah, so let's just see how it looks. Actually, that's a good point. So, let's open, so something like Foundry Virtual Tabletop. Let's create world, just so nobody sees anything they shouldn't, in terms of spoilers for the main series. Let's just call this Testing Ground. I cannot endorse Foundry Virtual Tabletop enough. It is a fantastic program. Data path, game system. Let's just do data path. Test. Leave it to be data worlds. Fine. Yeah. Let's go ahead and yeah, create world. So let's launch testing ground. Game master, join game session. Create scene. Testing ground. So let's see what maps we have on hand. What's some mud flaps again? You know, I am gonna choose something from my catalog just for speed purposes. Maps. I do, if you aren't above spending a little on stuff like maps, I do recommend Xepeku, these guys right here. They do some really fantastic stuff. You can find them on Patreon, and it's sort of spelled, yeah, like what you see though. What do we want? City streets? What do the city streets look like? Oh wait, no, that's not what I meant. Sorry guys, this will just take a moment. I just need to decide what I want. What's Goblin Bridge look like again? Nah, you know what? I'm gonna go for Dice Grimorium's also pretty good. His maps can be a little, as in he has a uniformity which is quite handy. So let's try to find something that's just easy enough to. I don't know why I'm putting so much thought into this. Yeah, go on. Abandoned village. That works fine. Yeah. Open. Select file. Save changes. Yes. Okay, yeah, the squares need to be about twice as big. So, let's just quickly edit that. So grid size 200 pixels. Save changes. There we go. Did I lose anybody yet? No, we're good. Cool. So we got this map. We're just using a testing ground. So let's create a new token. Let's. Oh, I forgot to do something. So first, when you are satisfied with your image, what you then want to do is go to image, crop to content. And there is evidently still sections where there is just crap in the way. So what you may have to do is image canvas size. It can be really, it can make it really difficult to sort of try to see what you're doing if you have too much spare room. Yeah, on your pictures. So it's best to as in when you can turn it into a token, it can complicate things. So we're just gonna just reduce the height until we resize that. Yeah. Let's try again. Image crop. Oh, sorry. There's actually an even better way to do this. So if you just click the rectangle select, and you put it around the very edge of what you want, because you can move the selection box after the fact. You can adjust it. So pop that about there. Yeah. How about there? Yeah, I think that's fine. So image crop to selection. Boom, problem solved. Now we save that and I have no idea why is that there? Sorry, just trying to resolve an issue. Okay, there we go. File, export, desktop, catapult mimic, export, export. Cool. So now let's create a new character. Create actor, catapult mimic. Non-player character, create actor, prototype token, image. We'll just choose file from the desktop. Select file, update token. Oh, forgot. Let's make this 2x2 for the moment, and then we can revise. Update token, close. Yeah! Cool, so now we have our catapult mimic, and at the size we want it to be, it is perfect. You know, maybe some more cleanup could be done around those edges, to be fair, but I don't think that's honestly that noticeable. Alrighty. I am really pleased with that. Cool. Let's, we're gonna play with the size and everything in a moment. I want to try to figure out how large it should be, but before we go to that, I'm gonna take a quick little break. I desperately need the bathroom. I'll be back in maybe 5 minutes or so. Okay, and we're back. Thank you all very much. Let's hide video preview again. Let's get back to what we were doing. Now, how big is a catapult in D&D? Well, how big is a catapult in general? Let's try to find a visual reference that can help us out. Ugh, yeah, no. Never mind. Yeah, we'll just leave it as is. Beg your pardon. Anywho, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. Let's grab a person token just for scale. Phobos, D&D stuff, tokens. Just go to let's go. Okay, Kaora is fantastic for tokens. It's spelled C-A-E-O-R-A. They're on Patreon. They also do commissions. They did me a fantastic Cerberus token. This is the fellow right here. Isn't he amazing? Let's have a look. Creature tokens. These ones I have bought, just for reference. I wasn't through subscription to the Patreon. We're just gonna find like a standard person. Like a soldier or something to help, you know, make this. Should probably just read what I'm doing. Cool, bodyguard's fine. Yeah. So we're just gonna copy. Or can we just, so if I just, create actor, new actor, dummy, on player character, vehicle, yeah. Prototype token, image, choose file, Phobos, bodyguard. Yeah, that's fine. Open, select file, update token. Cool, it's fine. So if we drag W now, yeah. Okay, so that's. So normal circumstances, one might have a what you call it, like one of those round tokens instead. That's just got like a character face on it that you can get on. What's the name of the website? If you just Google token generator, it'll show it. So we can see that's a bit small. It is technically considered large, but that is a bit small. What do you think? So, let's see what it looks like. Token, image. Let's go 3 by 3. Now that's technically considered huge. That might be a bit much. Honestly, no. I think that looks about right. See, it's weird. These size categories are weird because so much of that is just the box it's in. So, what you can do with Foundry at least is, so if we drop this down to size again, but increase the actual scale by about 1.3. See, that's more in, yeah, I think that's more in line. That makes more sense. Because some catapults can be itsy bitsy teeny weeny. Let's see, so I was going to use the stat block of a giant mimic, so let's see what that is. So D&D Beyond, giant mimic. So a giant mimic is, really? I thought I had a giant mimic. Ah, that's annoying. Let me just Google it. Giant mimic stat block. That's annoying. Okay, 2 seconds, guys. Be right back. I'm still here. I'm just doing something. This will just take a second. Still here, just need a second to use it. I'm just purchasing the giant mimic stat block so we can actually reference it. Almost finished. And we're back. Okay, so let's go back to see giant mimic. Giant mimics are considered large, not huge. So, and I think let me just double check something as well. So if we go to sources, not sources, game rules, vehicles. Because I'm probably going to base the catapult section in the stat block off of a mangonel, which does have its own thing. So, galleys have them, but so do warships. Yeah, let's just look at the one on a warship. Here we go, weapon mangonel. Opening this up, let's have a look. So, mangonels, yeah, they're considered large, so I think, yeah, so they occupy a 4 square space. So with that in mind, honestly, yeah, that's probably fine. Alright, we have our mangonel mimic. Alright, so let's design its stat block. So let's go to collections, create monster. And we're just going to use as a template a giant mimic. Actually, just before we do that, we're going to head back one. And we're going to, through this way, create monster, open up a new tab just to help reference things. So, giant mimic, create. Anyone has a preference of catapult mimic versus mangonel mimic? I like mangonel mimic. It's alliteration. Shape changer, yeah, everything can stay the same. I think because it gets a multi-attack... Oh no, it gets a... Let's leave... I'm gonna say let's bump it up a challenge rating just because of what it can do. Cool, so I don't think there's specific stat blocks for mimics that aren't... Let me just look at it real quick. So, just open up a new tab for monsters. I don't think there's any specific stat blocks for mimics confined to a form. A spiriting mimic, mimic chair specifically. What is the limitations of mimic chair? Yeah, so it's the same. Oh, it was part of Candle. Sorry, it was part of Candlekeep Mysteries. That explains that. So we probably say a shape changer that can stay, adhesive, object form only, false appearance, object for grappler. How do we want to balance the... Because a Mangonel, I just looked it up, does 5d10 damage. So let's just copy that over. Oh, no, wrong button. Command V. Mangonel. Yeah, there we go. Mangonel, ranged weapon attack. 5/5. Yeah, for a mimic it's +5 to hit as well. Yeah, so that actually works out quite well. And for its multi-attack, we'll say the giant mimic acts twice. Do we want to put a recharge on the... Yeah, let's put a recharge on the Mangonel. If you can shoot a catapult once per action, that's a bit busted. So, Mangonel, recharge 5 to 6. Yeah, we'll give it the, we'll do the same principle as a dragon. Actually, how is it worded on a dragon? Just so I get the formatting right. Nope, that is dragon scale male. Oh god. Ancient gold dragon, that'll do. Breath weapon, recharge 5. Okay. Mangonel, recharge 5, 6. Or is it? Yeah, it's all in one go. Mangonel, recharge 5, 6. Ranged weapon attack. Cool. I think that's pretty sweet and simple. I don't think we need to mess around too much with its speed, especially because 15 sounds about right. Grappler, it's just a mimic who happens to be able to launch projectiles. Let's put a caveat as well. I think it would be giant mimic object form only. Command C. Yeah, it's very important in D&D to specify these things. So if we put Mangonel form only. Is the dragon thing also... Yeah, I think it is italic. Yeah, it's all italic. So, Mangonel, recharge 5/6, Mangonel form only, ranged weapon attack. Or should we name the attack Ballistic Rock? Nah, that's fine. Let's just call it Mangonel. Mangonel form only. Yeah, because that's a big deal. Its normal bites are... So, a Mimic's normal bite is 1d8 plus 3 bludgeon damage. And it's... So that's Pseudopod, and its bite is... Yeah, so it's all... And its bite is a bit more... Oh, sorry, I think I'm gonna get a nap attack. Yeah, I think this can stay the way that it is. So if we go ahead then and... save... Yeah. Weird that it was too similar to the Mangonel Mimic. To the Mimic Chair, sorry. But there you go. I think that looks alright. Yeah, so let's just take a screenshot of that so we can post it places. This will be available publicly. It'll be on my Instagram, like I said, Electrum Cosplay, and if you are part of any Discord that I'm also part of, I'll try to post it there. And there'll be a link in the description on the YouTube video as well, so where you can acquire both the stat block card and the token itself. Alright, I quite like that. I think that's pretty funny, and I'm really proud of the work we've done today. Cool, it is getting a little on the late side, but if people fancy, I can maybe do another, but you know what? Yeah, it's probably best to stagger these out, because if I try to attempt another one, it could very well launch into a huge thing, so I may nip the stream in the butt. Oh, let me go ahead and move. Yeah, let me just hide video preview. I may nip the stream in the... I hope my posture's been okay today. I may nip the stream in the bud here. I think that's a really good place to leave off. Whew. Yeah, no, I'm really happy with the work we've done today. So let's have one last look at the final finished product. Ladies and gentlemen, the Catapult or Mangonel Mimic, depending on how you want to word it, in all its glory. So yeah, case in point, I did that just as a point of clarification. I can't draw to save my life. Not really. Maybe a tiny bit, but honestly not really. And, you know, just through a little ingenuity and a fair bit of practice, you too can do something like this. So I really hope this guide ends up being helpful, or this sort of watch through has any... wasn't this Let's Build was helpful to anyone who's maybe stuck in terms of tokens for either homebrew monsters or just monsters in general. I had a lot of fun with this. I may make a habit out of these sorts of sessions. We'll take requests, that sort of thing. And yeah, I think this could be a lot of fun. Alright, thank you guys so much to anybody who watches this. Do so appreciate it. Until next time. Bye!